Hello everyone, this is Ming Zhong. Welcome to today's market analysis for the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So in this video, I'm going to show you market recap from yesterday, that's including a trade review on my intraday trade. That's focusing on the trade management part, on how I actually manage a losing trade. And also, I'm going to talk about the bias going forward, the key levels to pay attention to, and also the potential setup for the US session later. Alright, let's just get started here. As you can see that on this daily chart here, yesterday, 4th of May, we have a bullish day. We actually closed or gap lower, opening at the low, but actually closed high. Let's just go to H1 to have a clearer view here. As you can see in this H1 chart here, so we have quite a bars here, 1 2 3. So these 3 bars from this to here, I think it's around 10 11 and 12. So this 3 bar actually shows some kind of the rejection on the level that I mentioned on my video yesterday, because in my video yesterday, I just mentioned that there's potential short entry from the level from 2810 to 2830, which is here. Let me just mark this up. 2810 to 2830, somewhere around here. Let me change this color to red, represent the resistance. Okay. Alright, so you can see that these 3 bars actually show some kind of rejection, but we didn't manage to have any downside follow through. Instead, eventually S&P 500 just resolved itself via this spring here. There's a bar here to spring this level, and eventually have a strong rally up in the last 2 hours, which is this and this one. So let's have a review of my trade on the M3 chart, because I think it is quite important to show the trade management going forward. So what if the market didn't really turn out to what I anticipate? So what should I really do? So this is what I'm planning to show you. So as you can see on this M3 chart, which is my trading time frame for day trading, first of all, this is still the resistance level 2810, as you can see it here, and you can see that we have a big gap here. So that's why I propose from this 2810 to 2830, this area here, which actually pose a nice place for us to initiate short entry, as long as we see rejection of this area here, which it did, as shown up in this M3 chart here. As you can see, during the opening we have a sell-off, a reaction, but not much, and eventually managed to climb up. But we're facing some kind of the resistance, and here is the reversal here. And after this bar here, after the close, then I just initiate a short entry, as I mark it in this orange or yellow circle here. So this is the short entry that I initiated. But just look at the downside progress. It did manage to go down a little bit, but what I actually anticipate is to at least to go down to test the swing low, or this swing low, or the swing low at the furthest. But it just didn't materialize. So eventually, I think let's just mark this up. So this is the short entry. Just place my stop a few points above this swing high, and you can see that we did have a few times. Let me just use this arrow. So this is the first time to move down, and this is the second time, and given that we have third time. So just with these 3 attacks, we didn't manage to have any significant downside follow through, which I anticipate to at least test this swing low. And especially on the third push here, the arrow, we can see that we have an increase of the supply on this bearish bar here. Sorry, let's just hover this. So this bar actually have increasing volume, but look at the next bar here. We have similar volume, but the body of the candle is really small. So small body, and eventually we still see a demand tail. So what does it mean? So it does suggest to me that there is demand come in at this bar, and the following bar, which is this bullish bar, just confirmed that. So we do get a demand at this bar, and that's confirmed on this next bar as well. And another important key thing is that we actually have a higher low forming here. So if we just mark this, so this is the low, and we have a slightly lower low, and this is actually a higher low here. So with 3 pushes, and we did get a higher low and also see some demand come in. So this is where I actually exited my position on this bar. Let me just move this a bit further. Yep. So you can see that I just marked this with this yellow or orange circle. This is where I exited the short entry, the short position. So I think this is just a minus probably 0.2 or 0.3 R instead of 1 full R, as if I exited somewhere around at my stop loss. So I managed to just reduce it to here. I think it's around 0.2 or 0.3. So this is how I actually manage a losing trade. Instead of waiting to hit my stop loss and to have a minus 1 R, I just reduce it to 0.2 or 0.3, so that it just reduce my expense as well. So this is one of the trade review that I would like to show you. And going forward, let me just get back to H1 chart here. So what's the bias going forward? I think we don't have any downside follow through since yesterday, and currently during the London session thing, we just have a breakout bar to break above the level 2850. So currently have a reaction. So actually I think we might have some chance to see further upside to test 2880 to 2900, which is a resistance area, before we see some kind of the reaction. So far the key levels that I pay attention to, obviously the resistance is 2880 to 2900, and of course this swing high here 2960, definitely pay attention to. Immediate support level, and I think it's a very critical level as well, is the 2850. So if we able to commit above 2850, then I think we should be able to see some kind of the continuation of the upside to test the resistance level at the upper levels like 2900, or even the swing high at 2960. So for now, the potential setup that I'm looking at is actually a test of this important level. So you can see that we have a demand bar here, which is quite a big spread bar here. I'm actually looking for a test and reverse from this area, maybe I would say 2846 to maybe 2855 or 52, so somewhere around this region. So what I would like to see is some kind of the shallow test or backup, and eventually to have a continuation up to test 2880 or to 2900. Or during these few hours going into US session later, if it just able to jump up and reach this point, and during the start of the US session, or at the start of the US session is somewhere around here, then another scenario that I might want to see if a rejection from this level from 2900 or 2880. So it's something like this, maybe penetrate up a bit and eventually get rejected and reverse down. So this, if there is some kind of a rejection around this area, then it might be a good short entry to me as well. But mainly I'm looking for the long scenario. So far my bias is quite neutral. I can trade either long or short depending how it turns out for the S&P 500. Alright, so this is the end of the video and hope you get something useful out. And if you like it, just click like and hover to my picture to follow me, and do subscribe to my channel so that you get instant notification for my future video ideas. So if you have any kind of comments, just leave me below and I will definitely reply to you. Alright, thanks for your time and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. See you.